Tēnā koutou katoa, greetings to you all. My name is Helen Bowie and I'm the Zonta District 16 Advocacy Chair. It's my great pleasure to report to you today on progress with Zonta District 16 Advocacy. In this short video presentation, I'm going to focus on 6 items. The Zonta Says No campaign, recent Zonta District 16 submissions on legislation, the Women's Empowerment Principles, Zonta's involvement with the International Women's Caucus, our response to the March 2019 terror attack in Christchurch, and lastly, communications, and in particular, communications on WhatsApp. But first, Zonta Says No. In the lead up to and during the 16 days of activism in 2019, Zonta District 16 continued in its work in supporting and liaising with clubs on the Zonta Says No campaign. This culminated in 16 days of intense activity by clubs across New Zealand. Advocacy Committee member Liz Holstead has championed these activities at the district level, including the publication of the Zonta Says No newsletters. In December 2019, Zonta International Advocacy Committee asked us for a list of which clubs in the Zonta had engaged in the Zonta Says No campaign. And the list we prepared was very well received by Zonta International. That list showed that an overwhelming majority of clubs had participated in a diverse and innovative range of activities. And I want to mention just a few of them. The Whakatane Club ran radio ads on their local station, 1XX. There were several versions of these ads, some which targeted a women's audience and others that targeted the audience for men. The club got the radio station to collaborate for free on the campaign, and media students from Whakatane High School were involved in producing the ads. The club liaised with a local family violence team regarding content. Here's one of those radio ads.
It's time to take action. Violence against women needs to stop, and being there is the path.
Keep listening, no matter how many times you hear the same story.
Getting out of a violent situation takes time.
If you stop listening, they'll give up trying.
Take violence seriously. Listen and give support, not advice. Don't tell them what to do. Let them make their own decisions, however long it takes. Call 111 if someone is in danger. Take action to end violence against women. Zonta says no to violence against women.
Meanwhile, the Ashburton Club joined with retail partners to support the 16 days of activism. They arranged for Zonta Says No messages in shop windows right across Ashburton. The Ashburton clock tower was also lit orange, and the club got excellent media coverage in their local newspaper. In Christchurch, Zontians held a very successful Zonta Says No breakfast on 29 November. I was privileged to attend that event and listen to the inspiring speakers, including Jan Logie, Parliamentary Under-Secretary to the Minister of Justice, and Sharon from Aviva, who shared her very moving personal story. Proceeds of that event went to Aviva, which provides family violence support and services. And many other exciting initiatives were brought to fruition right through the 16 days of activism. Thank you all for all your work on the Zonta Says No campaign. I want to talk to you next about New Zealand rugby. In July 2019, Zonta District 16 approached the National Council of Women following the controversy surrounding the selection of a new All Black. This new All Black had pleaded guilty in 2018 to a charge of male assaults female from a drunken attack on his partner. Our approach to NCW resulted in a letter co-signed by 22 organisations to New Zealand Rugby. We had a request. We asked that the All Blacks take a new and central role in actively supporting the elimination of domestic violence from New Zealand. The New Zealand Rugby CEO responded favourably to our letter, but we did not pursue the matter up to and during the Rugby World Cup. However, in the coming months, we intend to follow up with NCW with a proposal to approach New Zealand Rugby again on this matter. I'll keep you posted. I turn now to submissions on New Zealand legislation. In the last 6 months, Zonta District 16 has made submissions on the Abortion Legislation Bill, the Crimes Definition of Female Genital Mutilation Amendment Bill, the Sexual Violence Legislation Bill, and the Holidays Bereavement Leave for Miscarriage Amendment Bill number 2. I'll deal with each of these briefly. I want to talk first about the Abortion Legislation Bill. Zonta District 16's submission was limited to supporting the amendments to the Abortion Legislation Bill to decriminalise abortion. Zonta District 16 took this approach because a submission in this form had received the support of a significant majority of Zontans who attended the District 16 conference in Brisbane. Some members of Zonta clubs in New Zealand agreed with proposed amendments in the bill additional to those referred to in the Zonta District 16 submission. We are also aware that there are some members of Zonta clubs in New Zealand who do not agree with the Zonta District 16 submission to decriminalise abortion. To the extent that members hold these views, they are entitled to and free to express them in their individual capacities. At the time of recording this video, the Abortion Legislation Bill has passed its second reading. In January this year, Zonta District 16 put in a submission supporting a new definition of female genital mutilation in the Crimes Act. This new definition would mean that female genital mutilation is effectively outlawed in New Zealand in all circumstances. The new definition in the bill is in accordance with international best practice, and in particular, the World Health Organization definition. The new definition in the bill is also consistent with New Zealand's obligations to protect women as outlined in the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW. A group of MPs featuring women from almost every political party came together to sponsor this bill in Parliament. This was the first time in history that a member's bill was sponsored by more than one MP. This took advantage of a new rule which meant that this member's bill was guaranteed to be debated. We thank the MPs of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians New Zealand Group for working together to achieve this result. At the time of recording this video, the Crimes Definition of Female Genital Mutilation Amendment Bill is before the Select Committee. Also in January this year, Zonta District 16 put in a submission supporting the Sexual Violence Legislation Bill. In February this year, Zonta District 16 made a submission supporting the Holidays Bereavement Leave for Miscarriage Amendment Bill number 2. This bill recognises the need for a bereavement leave for mothers, spouses and partners suffering loss, trauma and grief after a miscarriage or stillbirth. The duration of the bereavement leave is up to 3 days, in line with other deaths in the immediate family. In drafting this submission, we collaborated with PARA in Perinatal Anxiety and Depression Aotearoa. PARA's support of the Zonta District 16 submission is noted in the submission itself. Right now, this bill is at Select Committee stage. I want to thank the members of the Advocacy Committee and Zontans across New Zealand who have provided input and comments in drafting these submissions. Zonta District 16 is a partner in the New Zealand Women's Empowerment Principles Committee. Sometimes this is called the WEPS. The White Camellia Awards were held in the Grand Hall at Parliament on 17 September 2019. These awards acknowledge companies that have made the most progress in implementing the WEPS principles. These principles focus on empowering women to participate fully in economic life. They cover, for example, establishing high-level corporate leadership for gender equality, and promoting education, training and professional development for women. This biennium, Governor Suella Cumming and Advocacy Committee member Dr. Jeanette Irvine have led our work with the WEPS at district level. I also especially want to mention Marie Thompson of Dunedin. Marie has done excellent work in bringing on board businesses to sign up to the WEPS. Zonta District 16 continues to be an active participant in the International Women's Caucus. The caucus is a group of women's NGOs from throughout New Zealand brought together with the assistance of the Ministry for Women. In large part, as a result of the advocacy of the caucus, the Ministry for Women has recently set up a new web-based tool. This new tool monitors New Zealand's progress against the latest CEDAW recommendations. You will find this tool on the Ministry for Women website. The focus of the caucus's work has recently been on preparation for the Commission for the Status of Women CSW meeting in New York, which was scheduled for March 2020. The central theme was to be the celebration of the 25th anniversary of the 4th World Conference on Women and the adoption of the Beijing Declaration. The conference was to be known as Beijing Plus 25. Due to the outbreak of the coronavirus, COVID-19, the CSW event did not proceed in its original form. However, the New Zealand presentation, a so-called side event that was to take place in New York, is to take place in New Zealand instead, and I'm sure this will be available online shortly. In response to the March 2019 terror attack, and having regard to discussions at the 2019 5 area meetings, Zonta District 16 has pursued a closer relationship with Shakti in New Zealand. Most recently, Zonta District 16 has worked to help connect Shakti representatives across New Zealand with Zonta clubs. This was to be for the launch of Shakti's Trans-Tasman campaign, Let's Deal With It. This campaign aims to foster a society free of prejudice and racism. Our main focus is on migrant and refugee women's empowerment and development, and how to facilitate a safe and secure society for these women and their families. Again, due to the coronavirus, the launch of the Shakti campaign has had to be delayed. However, Shakti is still proceeding with a soft launch across social media. Many thanks to all of you who have participated to assist with Shakti's campaign to date. We hope to use your planning work at a future time. I want to talk to you a little bit about communications. In response to a request for better communications with club advocacy chairs, Sarah Barclay of the Advocacy Committee last year set up a WhatsApp group for Zonta D16 advocacy. Many thanks to Sarah for her work on this initiative. We intend to revive and use this tool for communicating this year. We hope to sign up more club advocacy chairs and any other club members interested in Zonta advocacy who want to join the WhatsApp group. For those of you interested in joining, please fill out the form that will be circulated. It remains for me to thank the Zonta District 16 Advocacy Committee for all their work they have done this biennium. My thanks to Sarah Barclay, Liz Holstead, Dr. Jeanette Irvine, and the legendary Dr. Judy Whitcomb. Many thanks also to the Zonta clubs and in particular Zonta Club advocacy chairs for all their work in advocacy initiatives. Ngā mihi nui, thank you very much.